It is Brian and Brian with the Foundry. We had a couple of things. We were building out this episode and, talking through some messaging stuff. And so it ties in. So this episode is we're doing part three of what is content. Um, Now, at any point in time, if you guys have questions, please, please do not hesitate. Jump in the chat, ask your questions, any marketing questions or anything along those lines. We're here to help. Um, and we'll do the introductions. My name is Brian Hill. I run ISL Words and the Media Room. I try to teach business owners how to build their own platforms and get visible on social media, and use the free real estate social media is providing all of us. When I say free real estate, I don't think people understand that. I mean, if you post frequently enough, social media will push your posts by itself because it allows them to keep content on on their platform. And at the end of the day, that's what they want. And so they will push your stuff. Why not take advantage of it?
I am also Brian Gesser with 531 Labs. Kind of consider myself the mad, crazy scientist of marketing. And this episode here, this part three of what is content is very timely for me. Um, I'm
Hey,
building
Matt.
something out that's going to work very, very well with what we're talking about. So, what's up, Matt? Thanks for
Thanks
coming
for
on.
thanks for jumping on. Any questions you have, just drop them in the chat and we'll try to answer them. So, the reason why I wanted to do what is content is because I can't find a better word to say it. I can't find a better word to use instead of content.
Right.
Um, because it covers everything. But content can be videos, content can be slideshows, it can be pictures of the before and after, it can be blog posts, it can be pretty much anything. Um, but the idea is you use content to drive business to your business. Oftentimes, content creators are in the business of creating content so that they can get likes and shares and ad revenue. And
Their
that's
product their product is the content.
their product is the content. And oftentimes, the stuff that they sell or the stuff that they talk about on there, they get some kind of kickback for everyone that it gets sold or whatnot. But now there's an emerging thing with content creators getting ripped off by these brands too, where they'll make the content the brand is asking them to do, and then the brand will not pay because the brand doesn't
Right.
have any money because they paid 1,000 other content creators to do the same thing. And so there's a whole game afoot there. For business owners, the game of making content is how do I get more people to learn about what I do and get people invested. And so I want people to understand when I say making content is anything about your business that you put online. Your reviews, sharing positive reviews that your clients gave you is creating content.
Yeah.
And it's very powerful creating content. It gives you proof of concept, gives you, get allows them to build trust and people get a chance to know who you are. So,
Yeah. And I think we've talked about it a little bit last week, but the content that you put out uh, in my experience, entertaining and education combined is what works the best. And you want to do that, like I said last week, that jab, 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 right hook, meaning don't just put out stuff asking for people to buy shit from you.
yeah.
That's not what um it's not what works. Like if you constantly are asking people to do something for you,
Uh-huh.
it's to quote, the younger generation, um, it's cringe, right?
Yeah.
So put stuff out there that interests people, that make people want more from you, right? That's the content game, generally speaking. Doesn't matter if you're doing it for your business or if you're a content creator. It's putting out stuff that's entertaining or education or high value
Yeah.
and making people want more of it.
It allows them to fix one problem. Sometimes fixing one problem for them can make them really, really interested in what you're doing. And if you can fix one problem, you can fix a bunch of other problems and they'd be willing to pay you for it. But oftentimes, people don't want to give to get. They feel like they want to keep the special sauce locked up, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to disclose the secret ingredients of what we do. Well, while you're keeping the secret ingredients of what you do under lock and key, Nobody knows what the other things that you do. They don't know what you can make happen for them. And so it's not always the most important thing. Um, 'Cause people, if I tell them how to do everything online, then they won't come to me. That's not true. You know, you could tell me how to drop a new transmission in my car, walk me through it, and I've done it. You could walk me through it. It's been like 20 years. You can walk me through the whole process. I ain't doing
Right.
it. I'm not gonna
100%.
do it myself. I will watch a video of somebody doing it, but just enough for me to say, "Yeah, I won't do that again." And, oftentimes, I think people, misconstrue that piece of it. They think if they show what they do or solve somebody's problem before they walk in the door, that that client won't need them. You're showing your client that you can solve their problems.
Yeah. And the number one, like, thing that you kinda learn from, that Gary Vaynerchuk book is, like, he says, "Content is king, but context is God,"
Mhm.
which translates kinda to, like, great content fails when it doesn't fit the platform, audience, and moment,
Yeah,
right? So that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to create content that that tickles the brain of the right audience in the right moment on the right platform.
right. And I think, what Matt was saying is, showing, like, reviews and everything, it adds validity to the things that you're doing and really
Yeah, 100%.
emphasizes that piece of it. Um,
Yeah.
so last week, we kinda had a system written out on paper, um, and, making sure that, we it's because it's great to have everything. Everything is great in theory. Everything looks amazing in theory, right?
Mhm.
I throw this out here. All ideas are bad until we test them. Every idea is a bad idea until it gets tested. And then once you start testing it, you can start seeing how valid that idea is and where it can go.
It's
But
the old Mike Tyson quote.
yeah,
Everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
right. And theoretically, everything looks great. But now we got to start applying it. Okay. And so it is about how are you going to show up consistently? What is something that's easy for you to show up doing consistently? For me, turning on the camera is nothing. I do it all the time. I may not like the sound of my voice, and I may fiddle around with my lights and all kinds of other stuff. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but it's easy for me to do. You got to figure out how you want to show up consistently. Um, and there's other ways to do it. I mean, you could literally show the end result of the thing that you're building, and that's enough to get people engaged.
I'm gonna
But
double down on that real quick, Brian. That I think is the best thing you can learn, and the best skill you can learn is to make content. Make it as easy as possible. That's what you should focus on. I wouldn't even
Mhm.
focus on the style of content yet or what you're
Mm-mm.
delivering or whatever. Just make it so you can make it as easy as possible for you to make content.
The repetitions are the thing that matters. Like right now, I'm teaching my son some techniques around deadlifting because I've been doing the deadlift. It's my favorite lift, right? And I'm trying to get back north of 600 pounds. Um, and today I pulled like 495, and it was a grind. So I know I got my work cut out for me. But the only way I'm going to get to that where I want to be is to put in the repetitions.
Mhm.
And I've got plenty of reps under my belt already. I already know the function and how the lift is supposed to feel, but that doesn't mean that I don't need more reps. And oftentimes people don't put in the repetitions; they'll do it once or twice, and when they don't get the universe's feedback and saying, "Hey, this is great and amazing," that's when they want to change tactics or change techniques or pivot to something else. Sometimes you got to grind through the reps that suck.
Mhm.
And put them out there. Don't hide them. Just get the reps out there. "Oh, I don't like how my hair looked in this video." They're not paying attention to you. More times than
Right.
not, when somebody's watching your video on social media, they're listening to it. They're
Yeah.
not watching you. And
Yeah. They're
so,
at least not every second that you think they are,
yeah, they're
you
not
know?
paying attention to you like that. And so, you have to put in the reps. The repetitions are the thing that works. And so, the thing I'm stressing to you guys is you have to execute. You gotta go out and execute the thing to learn how to do the thing better.
Right.
No amount of sitting around thinking online is gonna improve that. You have to execute and get out there and extend yourself and get comfortable being uncomfortable with some of this stuff. So today we're not going to do any, I'm not going to give you any new frameworks, no new strategy. We're just going to talk about the process of execution and how we simplify the thing. Okay.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Kick
So
us off. I got no notes today, so I'm 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 freestyling it. So
okay.
let's
So
go.
the first part is we'll do a small recap. You want one customer, one message, you know, 4 lanes and a weekly rhythm and a lead path. You want to establish it and make it as consistent as possible on your end. Okay. The system doesn't change. And if you have questions, we can go back and look at the post from last week. Okay. What changes is your ability to run the system when life is lifing. when life is happening, what makes that's the real stress test of any content creation system or content business content system is okay, so it works great in isolation in its own little bubble. When it exists in its own little quiet little bubble, it's beautiful. It works great when I don't have everything else going on. But what happens like this morning when you find out that your payment processor screwed up one of your web hooks and you're not getting people aren't getting confirmation that they paid, or one of your payment processors screwed up something on the back end that you have no access to, and now people can't even submit payment to you. What
That's an
happens to
oddly
you?
that's an oddly specific problem you have there, Brian.
Yes. And it seems small because they're small fixes. They're little 5-minute fixes, but the lead up to getting them fixed is hours. Hours and thousands of lost dollars. Okay? What happens? How do you stay consistent when you have other things going on in your life and in your business?
Can I answer?
Yep.
I know what stops me, and I'm learning this with a coach I'm dealing with right now. Pardon me. I am a master negotiator with myself. I
Okay.
will negotiate out of doing something better than anybody in this entire world can negotiate to me. So I'll use going to the gym as an example. I can negotiate that if I woke up a little too late that I've lost my time that I would normally go to the gym and I won't go for the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that habit, I have a ritual, I have a routine. I'm not scared to go to the gym. I love when I go. All those things are already there in my brain. It's negotiation with myself to not do it. There's always this in here that negotiates it. So when you're talking about building that habit, what's the thing that stops? I know that's what stops me, and I know it stops a lot of people is you negotiate with yourself for reasons to not do it. You
Right.
find excuses, in other words. But it
Right.
really is this master manipulation and negotiation going on in your own brain to give you so you feel okay with not doing it.
And that's the challenge because that's when the system that's the natural stress test of the system. When life
Mhm.
interrupts, that's how it works. And it's not an excuse, it's a fact. Some days things go sideways and you can't post when you wanted to. Some days something does happen, you can't make it to the gym the way that you wanted to.
Yep.
Some days you swore that you're going to eat clean and have, dinners at home and cook at home, but then the kids have a late practice and it's hard, or you had something where you had to stay late with the business and so you had to get that taken care of, and now it's 9 o'clock and you still haven't cooked dinner yet. There are nights that will break your system. The resilient system will bounce back and make it easy for you to get back on track if you
Yeah.
veer off track.
I know we talk about him a lot, here and there, but like Casey Neistat, he just had a video about this kind of similar topic. He runs 2 miles every day for the past, like, 550 days
Mhm.
without fail. He has never missed it. And it's just something that you have to do. He's the king of going through what you're saying and just powering through the thing and just getting it done. There was
Right.
one where he showed where he was in an airport and there was nowhere he couldn't go outside the airport. It was gonna go past the day, past midnight or something. He ended up finding a way to run in the airport in like an underground tunnel or something, and he ran his 2 miles.
Yep.
Come hell or high water, he did it. And that's the resiliency that you're talking about, and that I think we all need to take a little bit of that kind of mentality.
Yeah.
with content and with our businesses and stuff because it really does hold people back.
And I have my things, like, some days I just can't record, like, last week, I had meetings every day of the week. Every
Mhm.
day of the week, I was out doing something else, and unfortunately, that didn't even leave a lot of time for me to record, so what did I do? I just said, "Alright, moratorium this week, I will just do regular posts this week, I'll do text posts or, other stuff to keep things pushing, and then when I have the time to get back in there, I can get back in there." There are nights where I'll do my little live stream, whatever, and something will come up, kids will have practice, okay, I just gotta move it to another night. You have to build in the resiliency in your
Yeah.
system so that you can get it done. And
Hell, that
so
happened to us. Like, what,
yeah,
like a month ago after our workshop? We were supposed to
yeah,
go from a workshop with, like, you and me leaving that place, having, like, 30 minutes to drive home, and then another 30 minutes to get ready and do 2 hours on a live stream. We both were like we tried to do it even. We tried
right.
to power through it, and it's like the words wouldn't word,
Yeah.
the
The work
talking wouldn't talk.
nothing came out. Our brains had been completely wrung out, and there wasn't anything that we could discuss on there to follow up because we had given everything that we had at the workshop, and that's in hindsight, that's fine, that's good enough. We gave everything to give on that one.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna talk about the 3 things that are killers. We'll talk about blank screen paralysis, perfectionism, and no batching. And I'm gonna start with no batching first. The way I get around no batching is I batch all my content. I will record, I will pick, I only record like 2 or 3 days a week. And it doesn't look like it, but I only record 2 or 3 days a week. And I batch all my content and distribute it throughout the week. But I pick mm, anywhere between 90 minutes and 3 hours a week recording and putting stuff together, and then everything else is getting shipped out. And if I can't find that time to record, then I go back into the library and stuff that I already did, and just we're gonna redistribute this. But
Right.
I batch my content. That's probably the biggest thing I can tell people is take the time, sit down, carve out an hour that you have spare, and batch all your content, pre-plan all your posts, pre-plan everything you're going to post for the week. You'll never regret it. You'll never
No,
regret it.
get something out there. And I talk about this every week, but I am the worst at this. I Brian has to keep telling me, he's probably tired of telling me to just get out there and post more. I live in the lab, you know what I mean? I live in building and creating the systems for clients and myself and stuff, and it's hard for me to pull that what did you call it earlier? The engineering brain.
Yeah.
It's hard to pull that brain away from what it's doing to get myself back in the creative brain,
Yeah.
which is a huge aspect of my life. I'm not just this nerdy engineering guy. I am a super creative. I love design. I love fashion, to a certain extent. Um, I love the way creativity makes me feel, and I'm not using that part of my brain for my business. I'm focusing, which is not always bad. I focus on my clients, but like I'm not focusing on like I'm about to launch a new brand
Mhm.
and I gotta hunker down and get 30, 60, 90-day plans together just like I would for my clients if they were launching a product and get the batches done. Like you said, get the batches of content done, ready to go so I don't have to think about it. Make that part, you know, make that the easy part.
Right. And sometimes the easy part ended up becoming the hard part, but once you get it accomplished, you look back and say, "Okay, it wasn't that bad. I survived that piece of it."
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm planning on I do this every year. I'm like, okay, November, I think it's write your novel November or whatnot. I'm gonna try to finish this book. I'm gonna try to write this little fiction novel I've been working on. And I'm gonna see if I can get it done in 30 days. I've already written a book in 30 days, but I want to see if I can do a fiction one in 30 days. Um, that's just a challenge I'm giving myself, and I'm pre-planning on how I'm gonna attack it. I'm gonna batch the time that I'm working on it, and then when I'm not working on it, I'm not working on it, so I
Right.
know that my time is free. But, alright, so I jumped ahead. So let's talk about the different ones. So we got blank screen paralysis, perfectionism, and the no batching habit. So the blank screen paralysis is you have no idea what to post today. You have no idea what to post today. You don't have the slightest clue about what you're going to post that day. So how do we fix that?
You asking me? Because
Yeah.
I'll give you
Tell
my
me how you
answer.
would fix it, and I can give you the one because it's something from last week, but I think you're gonna probably parallel it.
Well, it's understanding what your market wants, right? What's
Yeah.
going on in your market. That intelligence and data part of it is the biggest thing. It's the beginning of all marketing to me. I'm pretty sure I said that last week too.
Mhm.
Having data, your own data about yourself, your market, that what they want, your competitors, what are they doing? That is where all marketing starts. If you come to me as a client and you're like, "Where do I start? I don't know what to post." I'll say, "Well, what are people in your 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 uh, your industry? What are they doing? The ones that are killing it, what are they doing?"
Right.
I'll start there as a very beginning, easy beginning, and then you kind of take that and meld it with what makes sense for you and your specific custom market and create around that.
Okay. And that does parallel
Or
because yeah.
or you use the Foundry Clarity tool. Just kidding.
Yeah,
Not kidding.
no.
Kidding. Not kidding.
Use the Foundry Clarity, customer clarity tool. It's 17 bucks. It will provide you layers and layers and layers of clarity so that you can know what kind of content to make for your client. Um, and so
I,
give me 1 second here.
I
Um,
actually use that tool
okay.
for clients, for all my clients now. I start with that. So
And
just as an indicator, that's a real tool. It's not some little product Brian and I are pushing so we make $17. Um, it's an actual tool we use.
right. And I think people don't understand when we share tools in the Foundry, these are things that we built that we've used ourselves
Yeah.
and use in our workflows daily. Um, so last week we talked about the 4 lanes. And I
Yeah.
wanted to get a graphic together so that you guys can see it, but I'll talk about them. The 4 lanes. When you hit that blank screen, remember you got 4 lanes that you need to be your content needs to be coming from. You need to be teaching. That's lane one. Lane two is showing proof. Lane three is showing the process, and lane four is showing the perspective. Okay. So teaching is kind of self-explanatory. What does your buy what do you know that your buyer needs to know before they hire anybody? What do they need to know before they make a purchase decision from you? You know, what are the things that you can tell them so they can make an informed decision? Okay? Lane 2 is proof. This is where your reviews come in. This is the before and after pictures.
Right.
What have you done that you can showcase to people that demonstrates, that gives you proof of concept, that shows you know what you're talking about. You can make those transformations. So this is going to be testimonials and transformations. Okay. Lane three, and this might actually be for you, Brian. Process. What does working with you actually look like? And also, what does your behind the scenes look like while you're crafting this stuff? What does behind the scenes look like for you? So that's gonna be
Yeah.
more day in the life kind of stuff, um, and
The
things along
POV
those lines.
stuff.
The POV stuff, that day in the life stuff is very, very powerful. Okay. And then 4 is going to be more of your perspective. So perspective is where did my notes go? My notes just disappeared on me. Live
Perspe-
television, folks.
yeah, perspective for me, I think I did this last week. It kind of plays off the point of view thing, right? Like what's your and I think maybe your perspective, your lane you're talking about specifically is what's your take on the industry,
Yeah,
right?
that's it. That's
Okay.
that's the it's what do people in your industry, what are they not sharing?
Right.
What are trends that you're seeing that will benefit clients,
Yeah.
right?
I
Um,
Brian and I, well, again, I don't want to speak for you, but I know we've talked about this. We run more on the contrarian side of things when we talk about marketing industry. Um, I consider myself an outlier in the fact that I don't do things like everybody else does. I try to typically the marketing agency industry does this one size fits all. I'll take you no matter if you're square, I'm going to fit you in a round peg hole
mhm,
kind of attitude with things, and I just refuse to do that. Um, I don't think marketing is as formulaic as people like to believe it is,
Right.
right? I think every single person is custom because they are. You come from a different background. You're not exactly like, you know, short of you being a franchise,
Mhm.
you're not your business isn't like everybody else's business because it has your perspective, your thoughts, your customer, your city, your location, your whatever, right?
Right.
That all has to be in my feeling, that all has to be taken into account before we can start setting up marketing. So that would be a perspective lane for me to share with people.
Well, and it goes into what works for me may not work for you.
Right.
And oftentimes, like me turning on a camera is no big deal. For some people, that is something that is going to give them bordering on some kind of panic attack or something. So I would
Mm.
not recommend turning on the camera. I would recommend not doing that at all. I would recommend finding another way to get yourself out there. And I think that's the piece that gets missed is just because it works for me doesn't mean it's always going to work for you. Okay. And so these are the 4 content lanes, guys. If you want to take a picture of them, that's great. I will post this in the community so you guys can see it. I'll post this graphic in there. These are the things that you can focus on when nothing else works. Okay. When you have the blank screen and you don't know what to post. All right. So we'll stop sharing that. All right. So the next one is perfectionism. You,
I can just I can
yeah.
talk all day about this problem
You know,
that I have. I am man, this these live streams become Brian's marketing business therapy. Uh what perfectionism can do to you is trying to in a nutshell, it's trying to think of everything that can go wrong and fixing it
mhm,
before you release something.
yeah.
Um, I struggle with this because too many times I've used a product or used a service. Brian was dealing with this today where I go to do what they've told me to do and I've set up something like they've told me to set up and then it doesn't work and then I lose money or it just doesn't work and a campaign flops because the piece of software that I bought that's supposed to be working doesn't work, right?
Right.
That happens a lot. So my brain says when I put out something for somebody to use, it has to be perfect because I don't want that to happen to them. So it's like real world experience making me do perfectionism, which also stops me from getting things out as fast as I want to or at all.
Yeah.
Brian knows this, and I'll just put it out here for everybody to hear. I've probably recorded 100 plus videos that I've never released and I've also deleted,
Yeah.
which pains someone like Brian to hear, but but it's just they weren't what I wanted them to be, so I deleted them, you
Yeah.
know? And that's a problem I have as well. So, real life, folks.
And the only way you get to where you're gonna be is to put them out there and just understand that it's not about the repetition of making the video that you want, it's about the repetition of posting the video.
Yeah.
That's where the reps come in. That's where you start building your calluses,
Mhm.
where you fire off a video that ain't quite right and you do it without, blinking or hesitation because you know that the message you meant to get out there is gonna connect with somebody. Now, I'm not saying do a complete behind the scenes and it's a bunch of stuff that's going to be inflammatory and hurt your business. I am saying this. Sometimes the repetition is just posting it. And
Yeah.
that sometimes that's the hardest part of the content creation thing is posting the thing.
That you know what? That's why live streaming works so well, I think.
Yeah.
Is you just it's turning on the camera. There's no editing, there's no nothing. It's just it is what it is. You turn it on, and here we are. There's nothing else. And I was just thinking as you were talking, like Matt's listening. So Matt, if you're still listening, someone like him, like setting up a camera just in the corner when it's real busy, like you have to have the wherewithal to remember to do this, but like you're slinging ice cream and you just set up a camera and that's it. That's it. There's no talking. It's just like a corner view of the busyness, and people see that video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, I'm going down there.
Yeah, and
Busy
that's
right now.
right. Again, I mean, it's literally it goes back to this. It goes back to the the Crispy's pizza or whatever, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's all they're doing. They're
100%.
recording they're recording the day-to-day, um, the day-to-day operations of running a pizza shop, and people tune into that all the time.
They did a and it was edited down. Excuse me. It was edited down to like 2 minutes or something, but it was a YouTube short or a reel or something.
Mhm,
And it was just the guy that usually is on the camera, the son, and then one of the other kids that works there. They each just made a pizza and they showed that process and it was a little mini competition of who made the better pizza.
yeah,
And
that's
that's
it.
it. That's what the video was. And, 150,000 views on it or whatever, you know? Um, that's the
And
content people are got because you're like, "Okay, what does that mean, Brian? What did they just do?" Well, they just taught you how they make their pizza. They showed you behind the scenes how they make their pizza,
right,
and they showed you the pizza, and you saw how delicious the pizza was. It makes you want pizza. Like, all these things are happening in that minute and a half, 2 minutes.
right.
You know what I mean?
And
It
it
seems
answers
stupid
all the
because people
questions.
aren't thinking that that's how that they overcomplicate what content has to be, and it can be simple.
Well, okay, so Matt, you're watching that, a camera, like a little dash cam or something as you're making your trips, for ice cream and stuff. You could say, "This is what it takes to run an ice cream shop, guys. This is what I gotta do." People will watch that.
Yeah.
It
Edit it down to like I could see a quick getting ready to go. This is like 90 seconds, the whole entire thing,
Yeah,
right? Uh, I'm getting ready to leave for the morning. We're heading out from Bellevue. We're heading all the way up to Wisconsin. Little montage, like speed thing. I know it's 8 hours, but you show about 10 seconds of driving real fast.
mm,
You get to the place, you're loading up, gonna load up the ice cream. You show a little bit of that, and then boom, you show the next day when you're back home unloading it. If you got any new flavors or anything, because I know you have new flavor
mhm,
that you brought back this time. Matt's part of the foundry. That's why we know a little bit more about Matt.
yeah,
Um, but then you talk about that new flavor. Boom, 90 seconds, 2 minutes to video. It's done, easily edited because you're just hard cutting,
right.
right? And throw that out there. That doesn't make sense. You're like, well, why would you post all that? Well, it's what Brian just said. Can you throw that image back up again
Yeah,
before I say another word?
yeah, let me get it up here real quick. So,
That video that I just explained is almost every single one of these.
yep,
You're teaching them about, you know, you're not answering questions. Well, you are answering. You're answering like, where's this good ice cream come from? Well, this is where it comes from. You buy a ton of it, so you sell it. That's the proof, right? The process is also what you're teaching. You're showing them behind the scenes, right? What you do.
mhm,
And then your perspective is, I travel this far because I believe that the ice cream needs to taste good. The quality that I put out has to match, right? So you've hit all four of these in that one little 90-second video.
it's
Boom.
everything. It hit everything.
Yeah.
A and I think people overcomplicate it when they start thinking about it because it does like,
100%.
it's really easy. Right now, I'm trying to find the guy because I've been recommending him to my friends in real estate or whatnot, as an example of it. There's a couple of different lanes that you're gonna see real estate people take that are successful on YouTube, right? One is going to be living in Dallas guy, where he basically shows you all the neighborhoods in Dallas and basically takes says, "Here are the best golf courses in Dallas," and whatnot. And what he's doing is for people that are looking to move into Dallas, um, he's basically showing them all the neighborhoods and everything. So when they're looking for somebody in real estate who to buy a house from, who are they gonna reach out to? Well, they're gonna reach out to this guy that told them everything they need to know about Dallas.
Right.
That's a lane that is wide open in the Omaha metro. And I know that people are starting to build that capacity to do it. We could have 10 people doing the same thing. It's not going to matter because everybody's going to reach a different audience that aligns with their personality and their quirks and the things that they like and don't like.
Yeah, there
Um,
can be an older person that does that same thing. I know there's a guy that does it in Omaha. I've seen the
yeah.
videos, and he's an older guy, probably just a little bit older than me, but that's that perspective on it. Take a 28-year-old real estate agent selling to mostly, let's just say his niche is he sells to first time home buyers or whatever.
Mhm.
Guess what? His perspective on what to do, things that are cool, things that are fun, areas and stuff that you want to live in, going to be completely different than that other guy that focuses on families and stuff like that.
Yeah. He's gonna be down in Benson, showing people the properties in Benson, and this is where the nightlife is, or the old market, or downtown. So he's gonna have a different audience that's reaching that's interested in him. The other
Yeah.
lane I've seen is the guy. He comes on. He's a real estate investor. Every morning he sits up, gets his coffee. If I can find his name, I'll post it. Every morning he sits down with his coffee, turns on his camera, opens up the newspaper, and then just starts talking about what his take is on the real estate market.
Right.
He doesn't edit it. He might slap a thumbnail on there. That's it. And the back end that he's selling is, you know, books and courses about real estate investment. And it worked out really well for him.
Yeah.
But that's all, like, he doesn't edit anything. It's like the morning news for him. He opens up the newspaper and he starts running down what trends he's seeing in the real estate market based on the news and all kinds of other stuff and what he's doing as a seasoned investor, sharing his insight. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the old school Jim Cramer Mad Money approach, where Jim Cramer will get up there and kind of riff on the events of the day and talk about how it affects the stock market.
Yeah.
And no editing, nothing, just him and his webcam. And when he's done, shuts it off and he goes about his day. That's content, and that's hitting all the lanes. He's
Yeah.
teaching, he's showing proof that he knows what he's talking about. He's showing the behind the scenes thought process that he employs. He also is sharing some perspective on it. I mean, it's everything.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to think about new content because all the world provides this content for him.
Right. And just to be clear, you don't have to hit all four of these every time you
Yeah.
post a piece of content.
Yeah.
These are lanes that are ideas and things you can run with. But you'll start to notice that once you start doing one of them, inevitably your perspective leaks in.
Yep.
Inevitably you start talking about what you do in your process. And that by default, doing the other three shows proof that you know what the hell you're talking about.
Right.
That's just how it ends up being.
The
And
big
that's the gist of it. That's what Brian's trying to tell everybody here is that you start putting in reps, and the reps are to actually just post the stuff. It's not the stuff itself,
right.
right?
They're getting your personality. They're getting you and your thing that makes you unique in your market. And that is a thing enough to build an audience of people consistently watch you. And if you're saying enough of stuff that they like and they're the right audience, they're going to buy from you.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it goes. There are people that will travel to go to Crispy's Pizza because they're fans of the channel.
100%.
And so that's just how it goes. Scotty Kilmer is one I always throw out there. Scotty Kilmer, he's been working on those cars in his driveway for years.
Not for everybody. He's
Yeah.
wild and crazy.
Yeah.
But
he'll get it. And he'll say, this car is crap. And he'll riff about electric cars and all this other stuff. But people pay him to look at their cars. He's never without business. And sometimes he'll just look at somebody's car for content because the content brings him money and stuff like that. What I'm saying is this: you're getting him authentically who he really is.
100%.
And that's what he has over 1 million followers. 1 million people tune into his stuff consistently.
People may not even know his name, but they know the guy when they see his face. That's how you know you've hit content creator status on a higher level.
Yeah.
Is when you're talking about it with friends around drinks or something, they're like, I don't know who that is. Oh, let me show you a video. And you show a video, like, oh no, I know that guy. I watch him all the time.
Yeah.
You know, didn't know his name was Scotty Kramer.
And there's an entire, and so now I'm completely off topic. There's an entire compounding effect that happens because he's batched content for this long,
Yeah.
right? He's been doing it for years and years. Oh shoot, there's F it. See, this is how it works. I get off task. Sony has a new camera that just
Yeah,
dropped.
came out today. The
FX5.
embargo was released today, so you'll see all the videos.
So Scotty Kilmer, I'm pulling up his channel now so you guys can see what I'm talking about. There's a compounding effect of his content, right? He has 6.5 million subscribers. I want you guys to wrap your mind around that. Are there 6.5 million people in Omaha, in the metro? There's 6.5 million people in Bellevue. This is Nebraska, Iowa, and I think Kansas combined. Possibly, right? That's how many people subscribe to his channel. So over 3 billion YouTube reviews. Been a mechanic for 57 years. New car stuff every day. The most watched individual channel in America. Never been sponsored content, just the truth. He has merch. He has a little garage where he sells car parts out of, and people just tune in to get him. And he has a compound, like I said, there's a compounding effect. People watch his old stuff. You know, what does Scotty think Toyotas? You just type Scotty Kilmer Toyota, you're gonna get a video from 5 years ago about what he thinks about Toyotas.
Right.
How to do, because he'll do stuff like how to do your own brakes, or things along those lines. People will he shows you all the DIY stuff, right? People tune in to watch his stuff.
Yeah.
And on average right now he's averaging about probably about 200,000 views for everything that he posts. Now imagine if you are a business and you get 1% of that. That will change your life.
Yeah.
That would change your life. But you just got to get out there and start making the stuff to get people invested. All right, so I've kind of beaten this point to death. So let me move on. We talked about no batching. The fix for no batching is you pick 1 hour, 1 day for the whole week. And then that you pick 1 hour and invest, pick a day, pick an hour that day, and you batch your content. Okay. The businesses that win aren't the most creative, they're just consistent. Okay. So I'm skipping ahead a little bit. Batching system. You guys don't really need me to explain how to batch videos, do you? Or should I? Yeah.
I would do just a quick
We'll do a quick
30 seconds.
Yep, 1 hour a week. Just pick a time. Pick your 2 lanes for the week and write 3 posts, 1 per lane, 1 off, and then make your offer. Okay? And then schedule them, and don't post them at the moment. So you schedule them and space them out. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, that's when they're going out. Okay? The goal is to never be creating and posting at the same time. What app to use to schedule them? Fantastic question. Facebook has the business manager or whatever. You can schedule in Facebook.
The tool I use is called Metricool. I'll throw a link
Mhm.
in the chat real quick. Pretty easy. It's free. They have a free tier. It lets you manage 1 brand. I'm just trying to pull the link here. Come on.
Okay.
And that it's a real tool, easy to use. It lets you view if you want to do other ones. But Brian's right. All the platforms now allow for in platform scheduling. What a tool like Metricool does, Metricool, geez, allows you to post to all platforms at once and schedule it.
Yep.
Went ahead and threw that in the chat there.
Yep. Just make it easy for yourself, so that you're not posting it. So you're not posting at the same time. And I've even fallen into the trap of creating and posting, because I didn't give myself the time, and that's a discipline thing, because that's normally when I make mistakes too. And I have to go back and edit a post because I was so busy in a rush to get this thing posted that I didn't do a slight extra proofread, or make sure that this link is, I didn't put extra space in the link, right? Um,
Yeah.
that stuff happens when you don't uh do it when you're like, if you don't do it at a neutral time, that's the stuff that's easy to happen. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So if I was making 3 posts this week based on my thing and based on the content lanes, right? Um, so this is my teaching post. Okay. I'm teaching you about how to build a content system, right? Okay. I'll probably do this is a content, and I'll probably do a proof post. This is a post. This is a content system I built for this business. Okay. And then let's see where I'm at. So, and then I would probably spin the block and come back and say, okay, if you want me to help you figure this out, give me a call or shoot me an email at mail@isellwords.com if you need help coming up with a durable content system for yourself. So, one, where I'm teaching you what content is, two, kind of showing you proof of content systems that I built for other businesses, and three, saying, if you want something like this, give me a shout. Those are my 3 posts for the week. Keep it simple.
Yeah. Keep it simple. Um, I was just gonna caveat it just a little bit.
Go for it.
When you put out content, don't be afraid to add a little bit of a call to action to, well, everything should have some sort of call to action to it, in
Yeah.
my opinion, but don't be afraid to ask a little tiny bit. And it's not really asking, it's more like, say you put out something teaching, like Brian says, and at the end of it, you say, if this interests you or you want to learn more about what I do, contact me. That's
Yeah.
your kind of, that's not really asking them to buy anything.
Yeah.
That's just a little bit of a call to action to add to all that content.
Conversation starter.
Yeah.
Put in a conversation starter. That's fine. But then you could have one post that's just, hey guys, I've done X, Y, and Z for A, B, and C. If you want me to do X, Y, and Z for you, contact me.
Yeah.
Eh,
Or the other things are like, comment in the comment, leave a certain keyword in the comments,
Yep.
I just got done doing XYZ. Uh, comment me too, you know, if that's you, if you had the same experience I had.
That reminds me, I got to go
Me
fix
too's
my.
probably me too's probably not the
eh,
right one to use, but whatever.
I just reminds me, I got to go fix my mini chat because my mini chat is acting up. For those that don't know, mini chat is the app that works behind the scenes. So when you on an Instagram post or a Facebook post, when you comment, you know, get started, and it automatically sends you a link, that's mini chat working in the background.
Yeah.
Um, I wouldn't recommend mini chat right now because it's giving me nightmares. So I'm trying to find another one that works just as well. But there are tools that allow you to do that kind of stuff. Okay. What do you do when you run out of ideas? Um, it happens. Brian and I just talked about running what happens when we ran dry on ideas after that, where our brains were completely wrung out. So what do you do? What does it look
Uh,
like?
when I don't think I run out of ideas. I don't think you should. It's 2026 with the with the amount of content and ideas and stuff that are out there. Um,
Mm,
I think in our case, I don't know if we ran out of ideas or we just like our brains were fried.
right.
Um, but what can you do? You just start. You find somewhere you can soundboard with. Talk to a colleague. Talk to someone in a networking group. And I'm gonna throw it out there. Start. Check with your local Chat GPT. You know,
Yeah.
you know, load up the Chat GPT, the Claude, the Gemini, your AI of choice. The Foundry. Thanks, Matt. Yes, definitely. The Foundry. You can go in there and ask colleagues in there.
Yep.
But yeah, ask AI. Give me some stuff to talk about. I'm out of ideas. I've talked about X, Y, Z, this, and this. Uh, Everything feels stale. Give me a good list of ideas to post about, and I mean that's going to give you that. I mean, ideas shouldn't be a blocker for people, in my opinion.
I would look at it like this. What's the last question you answered for your client? Like, what's a question that you get asked all the time?
Yeah,
That's a post. What's an objection that you hear on a sales call? That's a post. Matt, talking about what the new ice cream that you're bringing in. You mentioned that when we talked, I think yesterday. That's a post. That's content. Tell them about the new ice cream flavor and what makes it different, what you like about it. That's a post. That's content. You could do 5 of those.
Yeah.
Um, you guys got malts. Talk about malts. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of content out there to be made. You just need to you need to know, you need to pay attention to your customer and why they're coming to you. Okay?
Yeah.
Why they're coming to you is going to be like this wealth of content for you. If you're doing any kind of physical therapy or any kind of work on the body, the problems that your clients come to you with are real topics that you can discuss. Right now, we have the parasite that's causing the explosive diarrhea. For a health professional, that is a gold mine of content to inform and educate your potential clients about what to do and what not to do.
On the flip side, it's a PR nightmare for Taco Bell.
Yeah. And so you got, I mean, take advantage of this stuff. Okay. But I do believe in having an idea bank. So as you come up with, every time you have a different topic, jot it down because it's evergreen. You can always come back and answer this question. Not everybody's seeing all your stuff at the same time.
Yeah. I'm grinning because I was started thinking about Taco Bell and I thought about a marketing campaign you could push out.
Yeah.
Uh, if I was them, I would say now is the time. Your time has come. All you children out there that order tacos with no lettuce,
Yeah.
I would do a whole campaign around that because
Everybody,
we've all had a kid
yeah.
or know of a kid that
Or,
never.
or, or still are the kid who doesn't get lettuce on his tacos.
There you go. This is your moment in
Yeah.
life,
It's your
and
time to
that's
shine.
I'm as an idea, I would put that out if I was Taco Bell.
Yeah. Uh, Shoot, we're bringing back the chili cheese burrito.
Yeah,
No lettuce on that. No lettuce on that guy. You might
that's
have
right.
other. You might have other intestinal distress, but it's not going to be based on the
Yeah,
lettuce.
don't worry about that. Don't worry about
um,
that.
and so, like I said, let's go. Let's do this real quick, because I got a lot of notes here, and we've been talking a long time. So, here's the thing: I like to keep an idea bank. Marketers, we call it a swipe file. Swipe file is, it's basically an inspiration place where we can look at ads that we liked or look at creative that we liked and see what we can take from it. And I would, as you start getting into the content game, just start jotting down stuff. Just start jotting down ideas. Hey, this week I did this. Keep a little journal so that you can always refer back to it when you're running dry on ideas. You can find things that you need to expand on. Sometimes stuff will change in your industry and you can address things that are shifting within the industry. One of the most best performing pieces of content that you're ever going to find is, this is why these people are lying to you. This is why this is what people in my industry get wrong.
Mhm.
That is contrarian content. Don't just make up something, but it's also a good chance to air your grievances with stuff that goes on in your industry that you don't like. Um,
Right.
right now, me and my business partner Mo, we're coming up with what we don't like about youth basketball right now and how it's being delivered in this country. And so that's going to be an entire piece of content that we're going to be recording and posting
Yeah,
and telling people what to do.
I think sorry, I'm on a side quest here. I think what you guys are trying to do is the right move. It's going to be a hard fight because of the mentality you're up against with um, select sports and stuff like that. But I think you have a winner.
Hmm.
Especially once the proof comes out, where you can. I'm not going to get into what you're actually doing. That's on you to talk about. But like
Hmm.
to go the direction, the contrarian thought process that you're going through, where training is better than games.
Yeah.
Uh, I, I I think it's going to be the way of the future. But who am I? I'm just a guy doing things.
I think, and it's something we had talked about before. We mentioned it like 2 summers ago when we were doing a live stream. How people want an entire slate of games, but they don't want to practice. They don't want to spend an hour practicing every week. And it's like that slate of games doesn't do any good if this kid's learning bad habits and they're executing it in real time. Because those
Yeah,
bad habits end up becoming ingrained into their muscle memory because they never practiced the good habits. And so it's a conversation like a lot of coaches are having this where they're fed up. A lot of coaches that are in it for the kids to get better, are fed up with the existing system and how
Yeah.
predatory and how money hungry it is and how it's just based on extracting money from the parents every single instance. And so
Right.
we're trying to combat that. And so that's a video we're working on. It's going to piss off some people that are bigger in the industry that their model is 100% based on that, but it's not going to hurt them. Like,
Right.
they're still gonna have the people that wanna play games every single weekend, and that's all they care about. We're not hurting them, but we're just saying this is something that we don't believe in. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about let's do this for 30 days, guys. Let's do the batching content and having your 4 lanes and stuff. Let's try it out for 30 days. You're not looking for likes or anything along those lines. You're looking for signals. Look for what post gets shared and saved. Those are your two biggest signals that your post is connecting with people. What gets shared? Okay. Um, Signal two, what post got DMs or comments? That's proof or perspective that your content's working. People are responding to it. Signal three, this is the one that matters most to me. What gets inquiries? What gets clicks? What gets sales? What offers are people responding to?
Yeah.
The
If you get a piece of content, for those of you that may do, you know, online sales or stuff like that, if you get a piece of content that's directly correlated to you getting sales, you have an absolute banger of a piece of content.
Yep.
Just
Template it
just
and keep
FYI.
using it.
Yeah.
Template that, make a template out of it, and keep using it.
Turn that one into
Um,
an ad.
right. You know, that's the best signal in the world. If people buy from it, if people are buying based on it, that's your signal to make this a template and just keep using it until it stops working.
Yeah. Those are when the comments like, "Here, take my money." Those are when you get those types of comments
Yep.
because that means you got a banger of a piece of content.
I almost threw my wallet at the screen when I saw the new Avengers trailer. Like almost like, take it.
Yes. I did
Give me
too.
ticket. Give me
I did
ticket.
too.
Take money, give me ticket. That's what I did. I threw my wallet at the screen.
I just clapped
So
my hands and said, "We're back."
yeah. Like I'm ready. I am ready for this.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's the response you're getting. But if you get something that works, don't be scared to use it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you can make 1,000 different variations of the same thing that works. All you need is one that works. And if
Yep.
you get two that works, then you can rotate them. But some businesses, since they never stay consistent, they never find the one that works. And so they don't even know what's the thing that converted for me. Okay. You have to be cognizant of the thing that converts from you. Now, I'm saying all that to say this. This is not even on my notes. If you do not have a Facebook pixel installed on your Facebook page,
What on your website?
on your website, I mean, if you don't have a Facebook pixel generated and installed on your website, you need to contact myself or Brian pretty quickly because there is no way that you're going to be able to track where your traffic's coming from without that Facebook pixel. That's the next level of marketing. That's how you make the posts that you make into things that where you can say, oh, so this converted at this percentage. I need to double down on this. Okay.
Let me go a little level deeper on you there. So let me just take anybody wants to contact me and say, I don't even know what a Facebook pixel is. I don't know if my site has one, blah, blah, blah. You are missing out. If you don't have a Facebook pixel, this is what you're missing out on. However many people you got coming to your site, let's just say you got 100 a day. That's 3,000 a month.
Mhm.
That and granted, these might be similar. They're going to be the same person several times. It's irrelevant. Though that is an audience that you could have been building on Facebook that now you could have ran an ad specifically to those people who have already seen your website.
Yeah.
Those people are highly, highly more valuable than random ass people coming to your see your Facebook page that may or
Right.
may not come visit you or whatever, right? These are people that were interested in some way, shape, or form. They went to your website.
Yeah. They bought from you.
That data is I can't even tell you how valuable that data is. And some people are just pissing it away by not having a pixel, or some people had a website built and have a pixel on there, but they've never used it. They don't know what the hell even a pixel means.
And that let's make that our next one. Let's make that our next episode. the power of the Facebook pixel. That's really granular. That's really specific.
Well,
But
we can do a whole just we'll do something on retargeting because that's what it's about.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the game behind the pixel, and I'll spoil a little spoiler alert. The game behind the pixel is you figure out who bought from you, and then just tell Facebook to show that ad to people who are like the people that bought from you. There it is.
Shocker. That was a whole video. We're done
Yeah.
for next week.
But yeah, I mean, and a lot of business owners are missing out on it. My Facebook pixel, through the ups and downs, it's seen years and years of use and misuse and everything. But I know I can dial in my Facebook pixel and get an audience of the 90 days of the last people who went to my website, made a purchase decision, and make an audience out of those people.
Yeah.
So I got a lot more. This is all going to go on the Foundry, guys. I do have a link that I want you to follow. I created a little page, Brian. If you can talk to them for a second, I want to post the link because I have a little thing on my website that does what is content and walks them through it.
I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the Foundry, like we do every week when we talk on these live streams. Join the Foundry. It's a school community. If you don't know what school is, it's the Apple of educational communities on the internet. It's school SKOOL.com/Foundry. That is how you find us there. That's how you join there. It's free to join. Just get in there, become a member. You can start talking. You can do everything in there. We have free courses you can take. We have some things that are paid, some tools. Some tools come in that aren't paid. The idea is anything that's paid in there is just to cover costs. That's all it's there for.
Yep.
It's not there to make me and Brian, billionaires. That's just not going to happen with a $17 tool and that price range. It just covers costs that to build the tools and stuff like that. So, but mostly we want you in there for the community. Ask questions. We're starting to build the community bigger and bigger, and can't wait till it gets to where we have 24/7 conversations going on. That's my kind of dream goal of that group. So once again, school SKOOL.com/Foundry.
Great. Right.
And yeah, that's it.
So that's it. I'm posting. This is part 1 and part 2 of what is content. Like this is the slideshow, the presentation that we're using. I'm adding part 3 this afternoon, so it should have part 3 here pretty soon. Go and click on that. And there's other tools I have available on that site, so go check it out. I have a little miniature audit that you can do. I do appreciate y'all for tuning in. Brian and I, we're really trying to grow this and make this something substantive for people to use, an actual tool and resource. And I know it's not as flashy as some of the other school communities. Some of those school communities will teach you how to make AI cook you dinner, or at least they'll tell you that they can teach your AI how to make you dinner. Can they do it? Probably not, but they got your money in the door anyway. Ours is we're going to teach you the basics of digital marketing and try to make it accessible to you.
Yeah. The goal is to demystify marketing and make it accessible to everyone, and not just, the marketers, the marketing agencies out there in the corporate world. That is a huge goal of mine, not only with the Foundry, but some stuff that I got coming up. And I think we might do a special episode on. Brian was alluding to it before we got on today, but I think maybe I can show people next week with the Facebook pixel and stuff how we set up maybe a miniature campaign or something for a new project I'm working on coming out of the 531 Labs.
I think that sounds like a great idea. So let's put that on the calendar, guys. We appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, Matt. Thanks for joining us with questions and popping in. It's open for anybody that has questions if you're seeing this, and even after the fact, if you see it, drop a comment or whatever wherever you're seeing this, and we'll try to get around and answer your questions. But at the end of the day, it all happens in the Foundry, so come check us out there.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks everybody. Thanks again, Matt, for joining. We'll see everybody next week.
All right. Talk to you guys later. Peace.